Just three regular guys with a podcast. Why is it a big deal, though? Like, I don't understand why. Like, what is...
Because I didn't think you knew anybody.
Who can laugh at each other's expense. And right there, my knee was just... Who have the utmost confidence in each other's athletic abilities.
Sub 5.
You're a sub 5 on one of them little tricycles with the little bleep bleep air horns on the...
And whose guests absolutely love joining them on the show.
What are your thoughts on that?
You got some nerve really asking.
The Choopin' It Up podcast starts in 3, 2, 1.
Choopin' It Up. Episode 8. Sick beats.
Hooper.
White hot.
Hooper.
Whoa.
I'll tell you what, bud. Here's the... And I already got my first bud in there, so... Sorry.
What's up, bud?
Sorry,
I thought
Rocco.
it was just us. No, it's him
No,
too.
you got me too, yeah. So,
Got himself.
Hoop, we bust your chops all the time. We really do.
It's an understatement.
And I will tell you, your athletic abilities are comparable to those in ancient times, maybe like around the Revolutionary War. But your creative ability is second to none, pal. I'm absolutely blown away by that intro.
I'm impressed.
But-
I'm very impressed.
I'm going to dispute the athletic ability because at the
I
very
know,
sub
sub
5.
five, right.
Sub 5. Like that's
still up in the air right now. Though. That's still up in the air.
Okay. Yeah, and you know
Your
what?
sub 5 would have helped out in the Revolutionary War.
And you know, we have to give a shout out. We have to give a shout out to White Hot. White Hot
huh?
with power. That was the
Thank you,
beat there.
White.
Yeah, we got that online. We're not trying to get sued here,
Thanks,
chooping it
White.
up because, you know, our net
Fair.
we won't, you know, we ain't got money to get sued here, chooping it up. So, you know what I
Not
mean?
yet.
Not yet. Not
Yeah.
yet.
I'm not taking
Yeah.
those types
Not-
of chances yet.
You know, when we get hooked up with Barstool, Dave Portnoy, his dad's a lawyer. It's fine. We'll be all right.
Yeah, very impressive. But big day today, I hear, huh? Big day in the life.
Dude, I forgot. Dude, I'm like, what? What is the big day? Yeah, no.
I
Yeah.
can't
Is
even.
he
I
serious?
can't
did.
go on anymore. I think I'm done for the day.
I don't know how to
Episode 8.
respond to that.
Episode. Wait, no. This is episode 9, right?
Yeah, episode 9. I misspoke. Episode 9.
he's-
Yep.
I'm done on
Good
episode.
catch.
It, Tommy.
Good catch.
On
Good
top,
catch.
on his
But-
toes. On top of his game.
Big day. You don't even know what the day is.
No, I didn't. I didn't know what you were talking
You
about.
know
And then I'm
what's
like,
I know
smack me right in
we're
the face.
We're in April.
Yep.
April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's April.
The,
It snowed today.
It did that.
The
That's the problem.
21st
Right.
of
Yeah.
April.
Yeah.
Right. 21st.
Yes.
Does that
Yep.
mean anything to you?
Yeah, it was the day I was born.
The day we were blessed with the presence
Big
of Steven, Big
CD Lamb
Patrick,
Jr. was born.
Big 30 years
Million-
ago. It
$1 man,
yeah. Yeah, I feel like if, you know,
tweeter,
if this was 2
Tweeter.
years ago, my knee wouldn't
old
have buckled
tweet.
on that.
Henry
Yeah.
Rowan Gardner. Henry Rowan Gardner / tweeter equals Stephen Patrick Hooper.
You're taking this at like a dig.
Huh?
Henry Rowan Gardner,
Yeah.
MLB player. MLB player
Yep.
in the movie.
Right.
Tweeter, haven't seen the movie, but from all indications, pretty
From what I've been told.
Pretty cool
pretty
guy.
solid receiver. Pretty
Pretty
you know,
cool guy.
He had
Yeah.
an end zone dance. Listen,
did.
you don't have an end zone dance if you don't get into the end zone.
Well, Matt and I
Okay.
went in on a gift for you
We did.
for your birthday.
We did.
Did you really?
We're just hiding right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, here we go. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to you.
you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, sub
dear
5. Happy birthday to you.
Listen, hey, thank
How
you.
old are you, Hooper?
I'm the big 3-0, man.
Oh,
That's why my body's
even
falling
better.
apart. Yeah, that's why my
Wow.
body's falling apart.
Episode 9 is the big 3-0.
Yeah.
For you.
That's monumental.
Up until you guys like, you know, broke harmony there. There's a good chance that some record labels out there might have. Anytime we
Well,
post-
that's
I'm
why
not
we called it a
yeah,
gift.
it was good.
It's a gift.
Anytime.
I'm not surprised.
Right.
I mean, maybe any of those record labels, anytime we post anything on the Choopin' It Up Pod Instagram, cheap plug there, go follow it. based on the hashtags we get, you should DM Emperor Records. So maybe we'll send them the clip.
Every post.
Maybe we'll send them the clip of you guys singing Happy Birthday. Maybe you'll get a record deal.
You might be able to get a restraining order on that that Instagram profile, bud.
It's like instantaneous. Again, follow Chooping It Up Pod on Instagram.
We had a great day on the course the other day, huh?
I was hoping we brought that up.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I was hoping we didn't bring it up.
No,
But
we're bringing it up. Yeah. Hoop.
it wasn't great.
Yeah, you struggled.
It wasn't
You
great.
struggled.
I mean,
I'm
embarrassed. You know what I mean?
There's Shooter McGavin and there's Hooper McGavin. and you had a Hooper McGavin type of day on the course.
But
I felt bad at a certain point. It was just like,
no, I felt bad. I mean, how many times did I bury my 3-iron into the mush that was the fairway at Sleepy Hollow?
There were a couple shots.
I'm just
Speaking of Adam Sandler movies, when you were swinging with your iron, you looked like you were looking down at the ball like the crazy cross-eyed guy in all Adam Sandler's movies that just jumps out of the bushes and stuff. That's what it looks like.
Mr. Deeds.
Yeah,
Mr.
that's what it looked like. You were looking down at the ball with his two crossed eyes.
dude. But
you couldn't hit
I'm
a ball.
struggling until
you part.
until Matt told me to close the club face, and I just stuck one.
You saved
on
the best
9.
for last.
And that's what gets you to keep coming back. You
That's the
par
problem.
and then you
That
walk
is
it
the
off.
problem,
I know.
If you have that one shot, you're like,
You stuck it and you still
But-
almost bogeyed.
But I think I have. I did. But listen.
Hey,
Pressure putt for par. Made it.
that's what makes the money.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be, like, if we go out and play next time we go play,
Yeah.
there's going to be at least still probably 3 inches of mud on my 3-iron because, I mean, I was
you were digging that thing.
I was getting mad.
You would have been thrilled to watch me and Matt come up hole number 5
I heard because
in the cart.
We got stuck.
I thought,
Oh, yeah?
I thought we were leaving it there and just walking off the course.
It was bad.
Or getting
man.
kicked off the course. I don't know.
yeah,
One
I
or the
mean,
other.
you weren't getting kicked off with those guys that were in front of us. No chance. They were
No,
just
no.
No, we just.
Kid behind us did the same thing. Almost buried it in the fairway.
yeah.
I felt bad for him. He was by himself trying to push that car the whole time.
Yeah, at least it was the two
There
of
was
us
no way I
sharing
was
the-
walking through all that mud to go help him.
No.
Sorry, bud.
I mean,
Another bud.
I'd say I had fun.
We're going to have the count tally.
When we get visual
Ding,
podcast.
Ding.
I had fun, but again, we said it plenty of times on the course. April golf don't matter. What
Right.
matters is May 16th.
Right.
Still can't reveal that to the listeners,
Yep.
just in case it falls through. But big things planned, and it obviously has something
Big
to do
day.
with golf.
Yeah.
Big day.
And if I play anything like I did on Sunday,
That's
I
good.
won't. I'm not going to be allowed back.
You're going to have to stop at the pro shop
Pick,
for at least.
that's why they're inviting us up. They know they're going to make a bunch of money in ball sales.
Pro shop. He's got to stop at Home Depot for grass seed.
Didn't count though. First round wasn't great. Didn't count. I'll be honest.
That was your second round. Don't lie. That was your second.
Yeah,
Well,
you
I
did
didn't.
cheat and went out before without us.
No, but I was. It wasn't. We were playing better ball, so I was out on the course, but it wasn't like score. I'm sure. I told you. Now, after what we went through Sunday, you're probably gonna think I'm lying, but I hit my irons really well that day. Like
Always does when you're not
flush.
around.
It's
Yeah.
crazy when you're not with somebody all of a
Yeah.
sudden, dude.
I was on
Best
fire.
day of my life.
Yeah. I was impressed based on when the three of us and Jay went to the simulator a couple months ago, and like you didn't look like you were gonna be any good. Like you were. I mean, I was pretty impressed.
I like the honesty.
I was pretty impressed. Yeah, I figured.
Bad.
I figured I'm like, me and Tanner will be about the same. You know, not on Sunday. Not on Sunday. Yeah. But
That was
so how far in? So yeah, we went golfing, and we're gonna from last week's Runco report card. We're gonna transition here. We got the intro. Check.
Hey man, it's your birthday. Whatever you want.
No, Runco's report. Yeah, Runco's report card right now because it might take 10 minutes to read through the notes that he sent me.
Let's get through it.
And also, just so we're clear, Runks, when you go grade this week, since he went ahead and gave us all individual grades instead of
Love it.
grading the podcast as a whole.
Can you grade the whole podcast?
We gotta get a whole
nope.
pod.
Runks, well, I just want, Tom and Matt made it clear that the intro, all me, so I want that to go towards my grade.
100%.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah,
It's all
my grade.
I want nothing else
It's all
to do
yours.
with that. That is all you.
Okay, so are you guys ready for
Always.
John Runko's report card?
I'm not ready. I stay ready.
Okay, where do we start here? Starts off.
Okay.
Snapchat message. Drum roll, please. Jeez, I can't talk.
Please.
Drum roll, please. I only had one today. I don't know what's going on here.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Transfer portal dragged on too long. I looked at the time at 17 minutes and it felt like a goddamn eternity. If you're gonna have to fact check on some things, I'm guessing the WNBA draft stuff live, it will always slow down the show. Segments obviously will be key moving forward. You barely touched on one, and you all flowed really well. Tom's explanation of the ACL and the stories behind it was money. Such good flow, even with Tanner interrupting him.
Sorry, Runks.
Tanner's first-hand experience added a lot. I would absolutely try to use his knowledge, Tom's knowledge of sports medicine again with a story behind it if possible. Also, Hooper is nowhere near as cool as Tweeter. Like, Tweeter was a star receiver. I can't even remember Hooper on the damn team.
So that's exactly he went when we went Tweeter / Henry Rowan Gardner. That's the backup he used. He cited Runko's report card as Tweeter's level of athlete.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe pat yourselves on the back a little more on the recap of the episode. Sarcasm, you fools.
Sarcasm.
Overall, the beginning felt slower and longer because of lack of flow. I agree with him there. But not too bad. A lot more dead air than others, but it was also a down week for sports. It didn't touch on any baseball, NFL draft, etc. Basically a two-topic episode. Overall, Tom gets a solid B+. Great knowledge, great story, and once he got rolling, I enjoyed it very much.
That a boy. Thanks, Ron.
Plus.
Try my best.
Sorry, misfunctions here. Oh, where are we at? Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
All those viruses on the phone.
Oh, God.
His phone's crashing.
No,
30th birthday. Happy birthday.
I don't know what
Apples.
happened. The rest of it, it's gone.
You
It's
kidding?
gone. No, I'm not. Just says drum roll, please now.
You said you saved it.
I didn't
copied
save it. Yeah, I didn't save it as a note. Damn.
You're unbelievable.
So we don't get to know the rest?
No, I know what the grades were. I don't remember. He called you Giggles. I was about to read Giggles. He said you had a lot. He said yeah. So I'll try to remember from memory.
Oh,
He
it's
gave
not
you a B
Giggles.
minus.
Where else would you remember from?
Huh?
Where else would you remember from?
What did I say? Something stupid?
Yeah.
Okay. Called you Giggles. Said B minus.
I would have giggled right as soon as you read that.
He said maybe cut it at 6 Coronas instead of 7 next time.
Probably not.
And then this is why I'm a little upset. This is why I need the intro factored into my grade for this episode. He came in with a C for me.
What was Matt's grade?
B minus.
B minus.
Yeah,
all
I'm
right.
bringing up the rear.
Giggles.
Yeah, he gave me a C because he said I'm held to a higher standard because I'm the host. And then it seemed like he wanted to say more stuff, but he just like stopped typing mid-sentence. So B+ for Tom, B- for Matt, C for me.
Hard C. How does that make you feel? On your birthday, too.
No. The birthday episode is today, so I had to read it today, but that was
I mean, that's what I
was
mean. Like, was it hard to read on your birthday that you got a C?
the first C in my life, I think. It's very good. Very good student. But hey, I'm looking at least a B this week with the intro.
Oh, I'm giving
least-
you at least an A with that intro.
Yeah, you're at least A minus to start.
To start,
already.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm saying
So
to
like,
finish.
and
I'm
then,
gonna finish it.
then as we go throughout this, then I feel like it would just knock you every time.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm already knocked because the drum roll,
After
please,
that-
whatever I said.
Please.
Drum roll, please.
I don't know
yeah.
about the drum
Yeah.
roll.
Drum roll, please.
Yeah, I'm already down to a B+, I think, just because of that.
You're still a Rhodes Scholar in our book, bud.
Yeah,
Probably.
I swear, only one cerveza so
One
far.
loss or Vasos.
Okay.
Good for you. So what do you want to talk about this week?
Yeah,
boy?
birthday boy.
I want to feed off of Tom's Facebook, and along with our...
All right, give the viewers a little idea of what Tom's Facebook is.
I will. If you would stop interrupting me like your report card just said, I'll get there.
My bad, man.
So,
I'd like to have a conversation.
I agree with Ronks in the fact that I thought your knowledge on the ACL and how that conversation went, like I said it the next day, I went through and listened while I was practicing some golf shots before we went. Maybe I won't do that next week.
You practiced before you played?
Yeah. So I'm not going to do that next time.
Practice?
I was hitting a little bit.
Where?
I was just hitting. I don't want to disclose where I was hitting.
Oh my God! You should go get your money back.
No, I didn't pay money, bud. But
Thank God.
But I was listening to our podcast.
Sleepy Hollow should have gave you your money back.
They should have.
Sunday.
They should have. I enjoyed.
Donated a lot of balls
I only lost 2.
that we know of.
Right.
I enjoyed the ACL. I thought it was very just like easy flowing.
Uh-huh.
I agree with your knowledge. This week, the injury that you're going at is the UCL, which for people that don't know, that is Tommy John surgery. A lot of baseball players, specifically pitchers, have it. You were going at it hard, sharing a lot of statistics and pictures and whatnot. I don't want to lead you astray like last week where I'm just like, take it away.
What do you think
Tom.
about Tommy John?
Tom,
Wow.
yes.
Take it away.
Can you give us the origins of Tommy John? What it means for the viewers? So now this one's different because with the ACL, you said you had people that you rehabbed, and
Right.
one of them right to my right here, that is Matthew, right to my right. Never rehabbed a UCL
Nope.
injury. But you have some thoughts, and we talked about it actually in depth in your office a couple days ago about why you think it happens structurally. So for the viewers or for the listeners, I feel like we have some parents that may listen or anyone who could kind of find this useful for their children. And me, someone who coaches junior high baseball and travel baseball, which I think is, it's a good thing. It could be a good thing, but also, depending on who the coaches are, there's a lot of variables. And I think some of it that I've seen can kind of contribute to the wear and tear on, a kid's shoulder, elbow, etc. So I just, for you, maybe give them some useful information or why it happens and what you think about it.
Well,
Before you get into it, I gotta ask you 2 questions. One, is it something like the ACL where you're like, oh, this is my project for however many months? Would you look forward to it? Not forward to the kid, whoever did it, but to that process of rehabbing that type of injury?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You would?
It is definitely one. I don't hope any of my kids tear
Right,
UCL,
absolutely.
but I definitely would be fired up to
Attack it.
something
see
you've never
how
done,
do
right?
how do
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
it back to where I need it to be or better?
You've done
Right.
a couple ACLs. That's old news now.
Right.
Give me the
Yeah,
UCL.
I'm bored.
Yeah.
I'm bored with that.
And then my second question is, do you feel like it's a little bit more, I guess the word is controllable to not get that injury than the ACL?
100%.
Okay.
100%. If you're a Tommy John, needing Tommy John to repair a UCL is not a, just a crap luck injury.
Okay.
It's mismanagement. It's
Okay.
lack of understanding, overusing a kid.
Okay.
And definitely, almost 100, as close as you can get to 100% preventable. Your first question, actually, when you get to attack the rehab on it, a lot of times when kids come in the training room, they've already got posterior back shoulder pain, right? And sometimes inside elbow pain. The inside the elbow, that's where the UCL is. That inside elbow pain isn't naturally the ligament as much as it is spasming in the muscle that's serving to try to protect the ligament from being stressed,
Okay.
right? So when they come in, kids that have come in and stayed with me and gone through some of the rehab and intervention is basically what you would be doing should they have had Tommy John
Okay.
and coming out, later stages in their rehab. So you're kind of rehabbing the same lines you would if it were Tommy John
Right.
without the surgery. So they would, the one thing that you may hear a lot is after, especially obviously in major leaguers, they blow out their UCL, they get Tommy John, they come back throwing 5 to 8 miles per hour harder. So baseball enthusiasts think, wow, if so-and-so, Matt Tanner, could throw 8 miles an hour more after surgery than he did, I should go blow out my elbow.
I should just get the surgery. I'm better off just getting the surgery.
It's
than...
the surgery that did it.
Right.
It's actually the rehab naturally that
strengthen your arm that much
got
more.
you, fixed all your problems that contributed, like you were saying, Hoop, to the initial injury. So just like the ACL, but again, the ACL, we could take you through that preventative program.
Right.
It still can't guarantee you're not going to tear that thing.
Right.
I'm much more confident that if you follow the
program the
Tommy
right way.
John post-surgical rehab far before your injury were even to come up or you started to get shoulder or elbow soreness,
right,
not only are you going to prevent the injury, I'll give you the 5 to 8 miles per hour on your fastball.
What like for me, I use my patella my patella tendon for my ACL. What are they using for your UCL? Like what?
It's called your Palmaris Longus tendon.
Okay.
So if you some people it's actually absent in a lot of people, but if you touch your your thumb to your pinky with the tendon that pops up prominently in your face, right there. Yep, that's your Palmaris Longus. They'll take that as your graft.
You don't need that.
No, and actually, fun fact here: if it were on on the side of a Cheerios or a cereal box for you, right? Or under a Snapple cap,
there
right?
you go.
Or if this is like a Jeopardy question, something like that,
Yeah. I'm not sure the percentage, but there are a lot of people that don't have the
really?
Palmaris Longus tendon. Yeah. In fact, I could go there. My right hand, I don't have it. My left, I do. So that's the common tendon that's used to graft the UCL.
What if you're starting to lose that, like genetically, like it's getting wiped out of people? So what are they going to use if you don't have?
If you don't have two of them, like you don't have one, what if you don't have either in either hand? What do they use?
You could go back. You could go cadaver.
Okay.
You can use other tendons.
Oh, okay.
But the reason that's so popular is because it's absent. Right. There's no real significance to it. You wouldn't appreciate any type of loss of function having taken that away from you and used it to your UCL.
And it would be the same premise as the ACL, like it would die at some point, right? It would change over.
Yep,
so you
You're gonna have that that, like you said, the dying and then regeneration of the properties of taking that tendon to a ligament.
So here's my question, right? Like, in your perspective, without ever actually rehabbing one, but you know enough, and I'm sure obviously you're getting pictures and things like that about like the major league players that played in the Little League World Series tearing their UCL and things like that. Do you think it's like a lack of some sort of function in the body? Like what do you think is the easiest way or the most preventable fix, right? Because you're talking about the rehab for it and things like that. But like, what do you think the easiest way to prevent it? Like if you had to pick the biggest thing that a kid out there or a parent could have their kids start doing that's like 12, 13, 14 years old to prevent potentially doing that, like what would it be?
Scapular stabilization. So what that means is your shoulder blade and your positioning of your shoulder blade on your back. So your shoulder blade is basically free floating, right? There's no ligament, minimal ligament bone-to-bone attachment. It's more all surrounded by tendons and muscles, right? So number one to that is posture. And what I think is, what's contributing more to it as we evolve is we're becoming more and more sedentary, more and more lazy. Our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents grew up and were either an agricultural or industrial society where they're out working in the coal mine, the farm,
They're standing up.
You're right, an assembly line. Yeah. Now the American dream is to have the corner office, sit at your desk 8 hours, and have crap posture. Less kids are out playing
video games.
Yeah, they're playing video games and all that kind of stuff. And so the postural part of just being slouched, rounded shoulders, hunched over, that in itself is already a major, major problem that has to be addressed, and that never does. Naturally, the biggest pet peeve I have is immediately they go out and they'll get muscle soreness in the shoulder, chalk it up as rotator cuff pain, and most of the time it is, and we'll throw TheraBands at them, do all these cute, nifty TheraBand exercises, and you're getting nothing accomplished. The big thing with that is essentially you get into shoulder instability and all that kind of stuff, which also would kind of be on the same rehab principle and philosophy. But your shoulder is essentially a golf tee, right? For all of us sport-minded people, a golf tee with a softball sitting on top of the golf tee. Odds are that thing's falling off the golf tee, right? So it's going to be the rotator cuff that has to keep that softball on the golf tee. And the TheraBand is equivalent to, we're just going to keep picking the ball up off the ground and bouncing it on the tee, right? Never addressing the tee. The tee is the shoulder blade. So at some point Sunday, if we can't tee our ball up, right, the ball falls off, you put it back on once or twice. After that, you take the tee out of the ground and find a more stable place to put the tee in order to put that ball on it, right?
Right.
So the scapular stabilization goes back to that, just finding new ground and creating a stable base for the shoulder to operate on. If that's not happening, you're losing efficiency, you're losing mechanics to the shoulder.
So then you're compensating?
You're compensating because what your body and you as an athlete are going to say is, if I could hit 95 on the radar gun, I'm doing it one way or the other. My body's going to find a way for me to throw this ball as hard as I can to the catcher's mitt.
I'm hitting 95.
Right. So now you compensate, and most of the time what you do when it comes down to Tommy John is, if you're having a shoulder issue and you have a scapular issue, which everybody does, you and I have it,
right,
not throwing a baseball regularly, right? You end up basically changing the slot of your arm,
So
right? And you basically straighten out instead of being almost in a 90-90 position and delivering to the plate.
Right.
You're gonna extend that arm out and create a whip effect.
So you're getting,
from a physics standpoint, you're increasing the radius, right? And you're getting that more of a whip and able to get to hit 95 because you can't do it from a strength component. So now when you're whipping, you're starting to create
a lot of tension,
a force on the inside of that elbow.
Right.
So the next phase of that, after your shoulder pain, you're going to start getting elbow pain, because as you keep doing that and creating that force on the elbow, your muscles on the inside of that elbow go into spasm. That's what that initial pain is. And that's what that initial pain is that the kid's going to come into the training room to me and say, I've got a problem here.
Right.
At that point, once that muscle's in spasm, because it's not there, it's not made to tolerate that type of force from a whipping standpoint with your arm. So it's gonna tighten up and spasm because it's overused. At some point, the the next spot for any muscle in any type of spasm, if you continue to put pressure on it, the last resort is it gives up and it releases the spasm. Right? Part of that is how you treat spasms, but if this spasm now breaks up because it's finally said, listen, I'm waving my white flag, I can't keep doing this anymore, it's now going to say, I'm taking a back seat. The UCL, it's all you, man. Gone. That's not lasting long.
Wow.
And now it's torn.
So my question is the spasm kind of your body's way of telling you, like, hey,
yes,
we got to stop doing this.
100%.
This is a problem.
100%. And I remember going back. I was talking to Hoop earlier this week when we were talking about it in the training room. Our guy Adam Sosnowski. I remember vividly. Adam came in, same type of thing. Every time he was throwing, he had inner elbow pain, and it was chalked up to that type of spasming.
Right.
Not to say that Adam was ready to blow out his UCL, but sometimes, and again, that part, once you get to that point, it could be, you're on the roulette wheel a little bit. You don't know if it's now or later when it's going to happen. But I was able to take Adam and get him into the weight room, just have him throw a tennis ball. Don't give him any, give him no teaching cue whatsoever. Throw a tennis ball as hard as you can at the wall. You have pain? Yeah. Okay, here's what I want you to do. And the first fix was just to figure out kind of diagnostically what was going on with them. Okay, I want you to pinch your shoulder blades and really get in a good posture and almost overemphasize that. Hold that shoulder blade through your pitching windup and keep it pinched as long as you can, which is now changing the entire dynamic and mechanics of your shoulder.
The slot your shoulder's at now.
Right. Because if you're pinched back that way, you really can't get out and extend and create
efficient.
that whip.
Right.
You're going to be in a better position 90-90. And him holding that eliminated his elbow pain immediately. So I knew right then and there that how I was going to treat him was we're gonna make his elbow feel better, with your TLC type treatments, stem ice, massage, ultrasound, that kind of stuff. Get that spasm out of there.
So he doesn't have any more pain.
Right. But the bigger thing is, long-term issue is we've got to fix his upper back and get him in that position. So to get him through the rest of that high school season, it was really just overemphasizing. But when you're starting to get tired, it's because you're not pinching those shoulder blades anymore. You're back into the poor posture, rounded
now
shoulders.
You're putting all that pressure back onto your elbow.
Which is correct. Right.
Yeah, and those are like something like that. So you start to get tired. You'd probably notice it, but like things that you don't notice, like, okay, arm slot changes, ball comes a little away from the body. As you start to get tired, to an untrained eye or to someone who's not really paying, like, you're not going to notice it. But then when they start complaining about the elbow, we actually have a player, like, currently, obviously we'll leave him unnamed, but for as long as he's played, like, ball real far away from his body, right? Throws it, like, just the mechanics just aren't there. Never knew why. Now I do, but he made the passing comment to me. He hasn't been able to throw. Made the passing comment to me yesterday. Like, okay, I'm holding the ball up, like, closer, 90-90 position. Well, it doesn't bother me as much, right? That's what he's working on in physical therapy and things like that. And it's like, well, yeah, like, when the ball is farther away from your body, like you said, it's going to be a whip. It's just going to be a lot of tension going through that elbow joint.
Yeah. And on a side note, since it's all unnamed, if anybody out there tells you to not retract your shoulder blades, you should stop seeing that person. They should have their license taken away from them, or at least stop practicing and trying to take care of people's shoulders and elbows.
Yeah.
But that's just a different little disclaimer.
So you kind of hit on prevention.
Yeah.
So is it more like we know, like, for most little leagues or all little leagues, it's a pitch count?
Mm-hmm.
And then also, like, prevention-wise, like, physically, like, what muscles should I be working? Like, if I want to be a pitcher, I do not want UCL surgery. What kind of, like, workout should I be doing?
Core.
Okay.
A lot of core strengthening.
Wow.
And
that's where you start with core.
Yep. A lot of core strengthening, and then back to that scapular stabilization. They're your two main points that you have to drive home to attack the body and prevent it from
Core because of the rotation that you're trying to get, or like the torque. I guess I want.
One of our favorite sport media mogul here in the high school athletic world. That's not really media. Had a local
Oh God.
baseball pitcher pictured. I showed Hooper the picture, shared it with him, and it was the perfect example of what's going wrong at the lower level and the core to help to contribute
To the top.
that's creating all this stress at the shoulder and then down at the elbow. Go back to the ACL because they're actually a little bit related. We talked about the ACL and that knee goes inside, right, and caves in. Same thing with a pitcher. Once you cave that in, right, you're not able because your knee is not balanced up over your ankle when you're driving off the pitching mound, right? So hopefully for a right-handed pitcher, I'm hoping that I'm in the third base dugout as the athletic trainer, okay?
Right.
I don't know anything. I'm not a pitch coach. I'm not going to pretend I am. So there's a lot of, if you get a good athletic trainer and a good pitching coach, that's a deadly combination to take care of shoulder, elbow health, right?
Okay.
But I don't have that pitching. I'm not a baseball guy, right? But I know biomechanically certain things I'm looking for.
Right.
So if I'm in that third base dugout and I have a right-handed pitcher, that's perfect because in the stretch or
You're
coming and wind up,
everything straight to you.
yeah, I'm seeing his chest, right? So I can see that knee that is pushing off the mound as he's delivering to the plate. He's got to come up and be balanced on that, keep that knee over his ankle as he accelerates and pushes off the mound. Right. If you get what you're looking for is that caving. If you see the caving of the knee and then he goes, right, that caving in the knee just took away anything he's getting from the core on up to throw 95.
Okay.
So now he lost all of his lower half, right, and all the power in his legs to be able to go. So now what's he going to do? He's going to get that arm out because he lost that. His only goal is, I'm throwing 95. I'm getting it there somehow.
Somehow, some way.
Right. So now that that's gone, that's going to create the same type of thing he was talking about last week with the deadlift and stuff where you get hunched over at the spine and all that kind of stuff. That cycle is occurring right up the body, which once you get to that point, we didn't obviously go to this extent because it didn't affect the shoulder.
Right.
But once you get that arching in that upper back, that means your shoulder blades are round and not retracted in that position.
Right.
Now your shoulder's in a very unstable position. And then now you're, what we just talked about earlier, getting into why it's elbow pain. So that's the first thing I'm looking for is that knee caving.
Right.
If that knee's caving, I know that kid's on, forget the pitch count. We got to figure this out because he's fatigued there.
Right.
And then the next thing would be, and it's harder to see from the dugout, but is
Call
he
the
retracted?
Call the skip. Get somebody warmed up.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got to follow pitch counts because, they're not arbitrary. They're not
up for discussion. Like,
and again, and there's wiggle room. Like it's a guideline. It's a guidance. So there are going to be kids that can't get to 75 pitches in a day. He can only throw 45.
Right.
But there are going to be some kids that can throw 90 and they can tolerate it and they'll never have a problem.
Right.
But to say that a 75 pitch count is just, researchers didn't throw a dart at the dartboard and go, you know what?
That's a good
at that
number.
age range, we're going 75 for a day.
That's a good number.
So
we should
It's based on a lot of data on shoulder fatigue.
So I'm going to say this. So a pitch count, it's going to, in the long run, help more kids, save more kids, and it's going to hold back because you're going to have maybe 1 out of every 5 kids who can go past the 100-pitch high school limit. But those other 4 shouldn't.
Correct. You talked about, you mentioned in our conversation during the week, Nolan Ryan was able to go out and throw 120 pitches, right? But again,
like 3
just
days
like the
rest,
ACL with
Adrian Peterson.
Nolan Ryan's a freak. You can't compare to Nolan Ryan.
Like his ability, like he could withstand.
No, I'm saying, yeah, but people will point to Nolan Ryan, like, he used to pitch every 3 days. He would throw, 150 pitches a game.
Yeah, but
Get it. You could point to one, but there are plenty of people that are currently in the majors that have blown out their UCL, and probably a bunch of guys throughout the country and, every other country that have blown out that you've never heard of.
Yeah, there are a lot of kids between 14 and 16 in this country blowing out UCLs that have no business doing it. None. And and these surgeries are completely preventable because it's just mismanagement.
And now, you're playing more baseball. Like even 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was, okay, I'm 9 years old, 10 years old. I'm playing Elephant, Little League, Elephant, pitch, like coach pitch. Like that's it. Now it's, okay, I'm playing that league, and then, there's a Little League, and then there's a junior teener league, which is like the same. So I'm playing games every day, and, okay, Matt might be the coach of my Little League team. Tom's coach of my junior team. They're not talking. They don't care. Matt cares about winning. Tom cares about winning, which in my eyes is part of the problem, because if you're the coach of that team, yeah, you want to win, right? I'm one of the most competitive people you'll meet, but I'm not going to sacrifice winning at the detriment of a kid, or even if it could potentially be the detriment of a kid. You know what I mean?
And the problem is, and that's where, somebody like you in the position you're in, Matt, yourself, right? You guys don't have a dog in the fight.
Yeah.
Right? So that allows you to be a little bit more objective, take a step back and say, what is this really in the best interest of this kid?
Right.
And that's not what's happening at the youth level.
No.
And the youth sports, it's become a $1 billion business.
Yeah.
Youth sports. Like we used to grow up, jump on our bikes, track down people at their houses, go play, organize either a wiffle ball game, hardball game at a local park, pick teams, no parent around.
Right.
Nobody telling you what to do and how to do it, and keep your arm up. You're swinging. We just played, and then the streetlights. By the time the streetlights came home, or you're starving to death, you went home, and that was the end of it. Now everything's structured for the kid because it's driven on this $1 billion business that has become youth sports.
Right.
And a very wise person told me, and it didn't really click until this, was people are going to spend exorbitant amounts of money on two things: their kids and their pets. And when you look at it, it's 100% true.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I have a cat in the house. I'm deathly allergic to the damn thing. Right? My wife loves the cat. My kids love the cat. Right? When the cat gets fleas, I want to kick it out into the woods. Right? What do I do instead?
You go pay $200.
I pay $200 to the vet and smile. Yeah. So it's the same thing. You do anything you could for your kids, but the problem is when it's mom and dad, very rarely, in most situations, the blinders are on. You can't step back and look objectively and say, buddy, we got to get to this trainer. We got to get to this hitting lesson and this pitching lesson. And, now we got travel league, and now we're going to play town ball, and now we're going to, it blew my mind a couple of years ago that, one of these different, we got a lot of travel programs going on. There's like 6 T-ball travel. Like,
yeah,
what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Show up, give the kid a hat and a shirt, throw him a couple French fries, put the ball on the tee, hit it, and let them run around for an hour and go home. What are you talking about practicing T-ball?
He's going to the
and
league.
traveling.
What are you talking about? My son's going to the league.
And that,
right.
honestly, is someone.
My son's
That's
going-
why it's a $1 billion business.
Yeah.
And there's far too many people taking advantage of that.
And as someone
to line their pockets.
Someone who's in it, that is exactly what it is.
Oh,
like
yeah,
they won't
right.
say it, but every parent thinks like my kid is,
Bee's knees.
he's going
Oh,
to the
the
league.
bee's
If I get the trainer, if I
First
do the
things,
best,
sliced bread.
and as a parent, like you're gonna spend the money and whatever, you're gonna do it because it's for your kid.
I'm telling you, you can't separate it. I'm sitting here and I'm telling you that objectively. I've watched it. I have Madison, I tell her all the time with basketball, I'm not going to bust your chops. I see too many people, too many kids that are sometimes playing in our athletic programs that are going, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
That's why they're coming in my room.
Yeah,
because they're looking for
yeah.
me as their escape out. Like, yo, my ankle's hurting me today. Like, I can't run, or I can't throw today because they're tired. They don't want to do this anymore, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So the same thing. She talks. My wife put her in softball when she was little. She didn't like it. She pulled out. Now all of a sudden she's like, she made the comment, I wish you made me play softball. No, me as dad, I want to hear that rather than why did you make me do this?
Right.
I'm not going to be that father. So even then, I'm sitting here and I got that, and I grasped that, and I've done that with my kids. Natalie hits me last week and a half ago. She's running track. I'm a pole vaulter now. I'm like, you're what? You're pole vaulting, right? You're 85 pounds, something like that, right? How the heck are you even being able to bend a bar to go over and vault over 6 foot, And 6 foot's the minimum.
Right.
She cleared it yesterday in a meet against Scranton, and here I am, like, I'm taking her to Allentown to vertical assault. We're getting lessons, Like, I'm already clouded.
Shout out Dave Krajewski.
Dave Krajewski, right.
Vertical assault.
Yeah, and but I'm fired up about it. It's something she's excited. It gets me excited, and
Right.
I'm sitting here. I went into dad mode. Like, I'm going to get you. This could be a scholarship. This could be money because again, that's the athletic director part of me is saying she's a female. That how many female pole vaulters are out there in Division III schools? They could throw you some money for that, like girls lacrosse or girls tennis. Like
Right.
you could get that stuff, but
Girls golf.
right, so you. From the whole Title IX component, you could take advantage of that being a dad of girls that are athletes. But right then and there, I'm clouded, and I gotta step back and say, hold on a minute. She cleared 6 foot, easy. If she likes it, yeah. If she wants it, again, just like Madison, if she comes to me like,
That's
Dad,
my
I'm a
thing
pole
right
vaulter.
there.
I want next year as a senior to try to clear 10 feet. I will drive you down, and we'll get lessons.
Right.
But I'm not going to sit there and go, let's go, another one, vault another one. No, I'm going to let her go to somebody that knows what they're doing, could be objective with my daughter, and come back and say, Dad, kind of, we got a couple lessons through, maybe it's not worth it.
Right.
She's not a pole vaulter. All right, man, no problem. I appreciate it.
That was the
not
biggest
like,
thing,
no,
like, for me
I'll
growing
show
up.
you. She'll get over that bar. Yeah.
Right. But that was like the biggest thing for me growing up personally. Like my parents never pushed me to do anything I didn't want to, but if I was going to do something, I was going to do it at 100%. And then as I got older, I was like, you know what? Baseball's a little too slow for me. Can I do AAU? Parents, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, they gave me everything I wanted, but it was more like me being the guy to go up to him and be like, hey, I want to do AAU, or I want to play.
It has to be self-driven. If
Yeah,
not,
absolutely.
it's gone.
And I think that's the problem, like what you were saying with a lot of these kids, is like mom and dad are trying to live vicariously through these children. Like,
right.
I didn't get to do this, or this, but if I put you through this, or this, you might have opportunities that I didn't have.
Yeah.
And
Or
see-
they didn't succeed how they wanted to.
And I mean, you probably see it like, okay, so Matt, you're basketball coach, my coach baseball, basketball. You probably, I feel like I don't see it as much on the high school, like school level with that. So you see it, but like travel, it's just right there in your face.
Right.
Like it's just there, and you see the kid, and you're like, this kid would probably be very, very good. Just like it would do him a world of good just playing local town ball league. No parents paying the money. Like that's going to get my kid there. And it's almost like you see it and it's like, well, no, they're doing it for themselves.
As soon as they graduate, they never pick up a basketball again.
Yeah, they're
all of a
doing it
sudden.
for them. You know what I mean?
And that goes back. I've said it and I've shared this story because when I was at a conference and heard it, it absolutely blew me away. And since I've known this bit of information, I've watched and it's 100% true. I know I haven't shared it on here, so I'll certainly leave it here with it. But parents always say, when do I start? When do I put little Matt in basketball? When do I start him in youth football? When do I start him in little league baseball? When do I start strength training? Running track, whatever it is, right? When do I start? What's the key to success to get them that scholarship and those professional athlete aspirations? This guy turns around and says, no problem. You tell me when you as mom and dad are comfortable with young Steven coming home and saying, Dad, I'm done with football. Dad, it's time to hang up the baseball cleats. At what age do you want to hear that come from your son or daughter, right? So, of course, that you take a step back and go, whoa, wait a minute, what are you talking about, right?
Why are they saying this? I thought they loved it.
Yeah, so the point is, you got 10 years. So if you want that to be through college, right? I want him to be a college athlete. You're 22, 23 years old. You better start your kid at 13 then. They're only going to play one sport for 10 years. They're going to get exhausted. They're tired of it. They're moving on with their life. And so when you throw your kid in 5U T-ball, right, at 5 years old, you better be ready at around time 15 when it comes for junior high baseball tryouts or high school baseball tryouts. That kid's cashing out, and you better be okay with it because it's not the kid's fault.
Right.
He's played baseball for 10 years.
Yeah,
He's
right.
done. It's over. He's exhausted. And I'll never forget, we had a track kid come up to, I think he was maybe a junior in high school. This was the first time it hit me, like, clinically or practically, right, at work. After I heard this, kid quit track, right? Dad stops me in a parking lot the one day. Says, we had a good relationship. Yo, you got to talk to my boy. You got to talk to my boy. We got to get him back to track. He won't run track. He doesn't want to run track. I'm like, yeah. I'll talk to him. See what's going on. I don't, love to have him around. Great kid. It helps with the team and stuff. Yeah. I've been having him run. He's been running with me since he's 4 years old. Whoa. I didn't share the information I had with Dad, but hit me square in the face.
There it is.
Time's up, man. That's what it came down to. So you think I had the conversation with the kid? No, because I know why the kid quit track.
Right.
He's done. He doesn't want to run anymore.
Mm-hmm. And I just want to go back because I didn't want to interrupt you. I didn't want to get docked on my report card.
Runco report card
man, you just
radar.
Gotta be yourself.
But you were talking a little bit ago about like your kid, like you said it with Matt. You said it with your parents. Like, I'm done with baseball. I want to go do AAU. Like, you're looking for.
Well, my mom was a little excited when I was done with baseball too. She was kind of like, thank God. Like, she's not a fan of sitting there waiting for things to happen. So it was kind of like a win-win for her. Right. But it was more of me pushing and being like, hey, I think basketball is more my thing. I wanna get after this. And they're like, they were more head over heels. We'll give you AAU personal. Like, they would do that for me, and that was awesome.
But so that's the big thing with me. Obviously, don't have a kid, but like, those
that you know of.
Yeah, those junior high.
Me, I have like 6 running around. Jesus Christ.
Like, those junior high kids, like at that point, like, okay, like, parents are entrusting me with, to give their kid like something that they could take, through for the rest of their life. So
not just a sport, like you said, life. Like, you're trying to teach them some life lessons through that sport.
With me, like, I got into baseball because, Crope hired me because he knew I was into the strength and conditioning aspect of it, right? That's how I ended up on the staff. So with me, like, that is my job for the varsity program. So as soon as the season ends, I give it like 2 weeks. Hey, reach out to me. Like, I'm not going to chase you.
Right.
You want to come. You want to get better. And I say it in side note, the biggest thing, the lowest hanging fruit to become a better athlete is strength and conditioning. Mm-hmm. Right? It's not more of your sport. It's, you don't ever see the weight room. Oh, strength and conditioning. You'll get incrementally better, whereas specifically you might get a little better.
Right.
But if you have a better body, you'll get incrementally better. Mm-hmm. But back to the point, like, I don't chase any of them. I go, you reach out to me, here's my number, y'all have it. You can reach out to Coach Crope. If you don't have it, get it. Reach out to me, hey, Coach Hoop, so-and-so, I would really like to start, weightlifting. Okay, that's the first thing. You don't do that, I'm not chasing you. I don't care, right? It's not about me. I'm not that guy. But if you tell me that you want to be there, okay, that's the first thing.
Right.
So now you want to be there. Okay, I'll work around you. You have work. Okay, we'll figure it out. We'll make sure you're in there 2 or 3 days a week. Like, I will do that. You want to do this? You want to get in the weight room? You want to get better? I will make myself available. I'll figure it out so you get in there at least 2, maybe 3 times a week. No problem. In the course of that, if you tell me like, oh, you're a freshman, maybe you pinch hit a couple of times as a freshman. I want to be a starter. Okay, you told me that that's your goal. So now I'm going to be a little harder on you. Like, oh, I'm a little tired today. Like, oh, I played, a Legion game. Well, no, get your ass, like, oh, you get your ass here. Like, you said you want to be a starter. Mm-hmm. Like, you're not beat down. Like, oh, you played a Legion game. It's fine. Get your ass here. Mm-hmm. So as the kids start giving me, like, those pieces of information, I want to be a starter. I want to play baseball in college. Like, that'll determine how much I'll chase them or how hard I'll be on them when it comes to that stuff. But again, it all comes back to the first thing is you need to send me a text. You need to give me a call. Hey, I want to start. And then from there, I mean, depending on the kid, yeah, it'll change. Like some kids I'll be a little tougher on. Some kids I won't, depending on what they tell me over the course. But I'm not going to chase you. I'm not going to make you do anything. Like it's not, oh, you're coming to the weight room so I could check the box that we did it.
Right.
Because if you're there physically but not mentally, you don't want to be there. Like I'm not going to get you to do what you need to do. Same thing with any sport. Like if you don't want to be playing basketball and you're there because your parents are forcing you, or like I'm not going to be able to get the most out of you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They're checking out, and that's something I share. I try to press upon. I have student trainers all the time at the school. Is whenever you go back to an injury and you're looking at an injury, our guy Runko, being the nurse that he is, he understands the importance of history taking, and that you can know exactly what's going on before you even put your hand on the patient's body, or whatever's going on. Through that, if you're taking a good history, well, the history, that kid is telling you a story about their injury. Their body's telling you another story. It's my job to make sure that both stories line up. If both stories don't line up, we've got an issue here going on. You're either the tough guy. No, I'm fine. Your body's not telling me you're fine. Your ankle's not saying you're good. Your knee's not telling me you're good. You're trying to tell me it. I don't care what you say right now. But then there's that other kid that goes, nah, this isn't good. This isn't good. I can't do this. I can't do that. Your body's telling me it's okay. I'm not going to tell you, hey, get your rear end back out on the track or back up on the baseball field and get going, because I know there's something going on there that's not adding up. And the thing that excited me about getting back into the high school, not getting in back, but progressing to the high school, having come out of a Division I education, and that where I thought I wanted to go professionally, was I got to come back. I got that experience that I had, and and it worked out my favor. Not too long into my career, I was over at West. I had Sean, I had Matt McGoyne, I had Hubie and Shrive and those guys, where it was a perfect blend of, here's my Division I guys, right? I'm treating you guys.
Real quick,
you're not getting any sympathy out of me, bud. You want to be the man, and you're the guy on our team. My wrist is bothering me. Let's go. You're on the field. Because guess what? When you sign that letter of intent at Nebraska, Penn State, Syracuse, Alabama,
wherever you may be going,
as a freshman, they don't care that you don't feel well that day. You're practicing. Mm-hmm. You got a scholarship. You're practicing. They don't want to hear it. You're just another body on a roster, because you could easily pack your bags. They're going to find another recruit, right? So I'm going to treat those guys a heck of a lot differently than I have the kid that is a very solid high school football player, high school baseball player, but I know, maybe go to play Division III. Maybe once the kid is finished with high school, he's finished. But while he's here, he's that kid that, listen, you do what you got to do. I got to play. You got it, bud. Let's go, right? I'll do whatever. Like you said, I'll spend hours in a training room. I'll figure out a tape job. I'll figure something out. I'll get you to play,
right?
Without hurting you. Being able to step back and objectively say, I'm putting this kid at jeopardy. But then there's the kid in high school, we all know, just happy to be on a team. Might not ever see the field. Some of them don't want to see the field. They just want to wear their jacket. They want to get that hoodie. They want to get the travel gear. They want to go to the pasta party. When that kid has an ankle injury, I ain't treating him like I'm treating a kid that's thinks he's going to chase a Division I scholarship.
Right.
You know what, bud? Grab some ice. We'll wrap it up.
Call it a day.
Take today off.
Call it a day.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on this thing. You know, I'm not going to push that kid. And that's, to me, the most fun part of it is I'm going to attack those different demographics differently. And when it comes down to it, develop a relationship with a kid, regardless of what they're going to do. That turns into, listen, you need something, find me when you're 30 years old. You know, stop by and say hello. You know, that
same thing with coaching.
Right.
I mean, it's literally the same thing. Like the kid who's playing travel baseball all summer and paying and like will do whatever you want. Like wait, we're like, yep, I'll take, you know, extra swings in their basement. Like, yeah, that kid's gonna get treated different than the kid who, like you said, shows up to practice, wants to be on the team. Not treated differently, but like, you know,
different goals.
It's different goals. Like, I'm not going to, like, I want that kid to enjoy baseball. I want them both to enjoy baseball, basketball, whatever it is. But, like, I know I can yell at that kid and I can get tough with that kid who is, like, diehard. Like, yep, I'm here. I want to be, you know, freshman varsity starter. I play travel baseball. Like, this is it. Like, I want to play baseball in college. I suppose the kid that just wants to be there. Like, I want them both on the team because they're just as important.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You need those good team guys that are like selfless, there for the team, cheer, and you need the guys that are going to do it on the field.
Yeah.
So I want both of them around, and you need to figure out how to keep both of them around. I need to challenge that kid who wants to play baseball in college, basketball in college. Like, you need to challenge him. You need to challenge the other kid, but just in a different way. Like, I want you to be as good as you can be with the 2 hours I know that we're going to spend, you know, a day together for 3 months out of the year or 2 months out of the year. I want to get you as good as you want to be. But sometimes I'm going to know when you're feeling it, when you're not feeling it. Like, I'm not going to yell at you. I'm going to yell at this kid. I'm not going to yell at you the same way.
So,
I'm going to get on you.
So my question to the two of you, as two young coaches on my staff, right? We've all, you know, that's all well and good. How do you handle... We've all been faced with this. How do you handle and what's your approach to the kid whose goals and expectations are far beyond what their playing capabilities are? The kids that I'm going to play at Texas. UCLA's calling.
Do you want to go first? You want me to?
Nah, you look like you're ready to answer this one.
I feel like it's a filling out process. Like how well do I really know this kid?
Right.
Do I have the type of rapport to really let him know, bud? There's another bud.
Bud.
But like, pal, whatever you got to say to him, like, are you sure like that's really where you want to go? Do you really think like you have the ability? Like, do you break it down? Like, do you realize like what a D1 athlete look like? Like, do you realize the type of player? Like, do you know the speed, the strength, like the competition? Like, do you really think you have that ability?
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't have that type of, like, if I could tell the kid that, I'm gonna tell him 100%, straight to your face. If we can have that heart to heart. I'm gonna let you know. If I don't have that, and we're kind of like okay, and I want to just see him have a good time, have at it, man. You can do it. Whatever. Shoot for the stars. If you don't, if you can do it, man.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think it's kind of what kind of relationship you have with that person.
See, I think I agree. Definitely need to have a good relationship. Which, I mean, as a coach, basketball, you get 20 guys. Like, I mean, it's easy to build relationships, but like,
yeah,
for me, it's also because I had one this year. Again, not going to mention names, but it's like you have it, and like when you develop such a good relationship with a kid, it's like, oh God, like I don't have the heart to tell him. You know what I mean? Like I want him to figure it out.
Right.
And you try to, like, for me, I'll try to get creative ways. Like, okay, Division I, baseball scholarship. Like, I mean, there are measurements. You know, it's almost like, you know, the NFL or football. Like, okay, 60-yard dash. Like, oh, you run a 7.4, like Division I school ain't gonna look at you unless you're running like, 6.9, or you're a first baseman whose exit velocity off the bat.
Let me cut you off for a second.
Go ahead.
So you're saying if it's too good of a relationship,
I'm just saying for me.
for you,
Like it's like
right.
Kids go like I don't have.
Right. You don't have the heart to disappoint the kid. You don't want them to.
I feel
You
like
don't want to
gotta-
hurt the kid.
You don't want to hurt him, but I
No,
mean,
you just you don't say it bluntly.
the truth hurts.
You don't say it bluntly.
Right. The
Like
truth
you
hurts.
kind of
No, I'm
find
not
a way.
saying, like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
You find a way to.
You saw,
There's
man.
different
There's
ways.
no way. But
Right, there's
but
different
I mean,
ways to have the
At a certain
conversation.
point in time, though, you need to have that conversation with the kid that you have that type of relationship with, to let him know, like, man, I love that you dream this big, but I don't want you to get hurt when you realize that dream's not coming true. Like, maybe we should look in a different area. Like, maybe not D1, but a real good D2.
Yeah.
Or a high-end 3-3. Like, D1, 2, or 3, you're still getting great competition no matter where you're at.
Yeah.
We all agree upon that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, where do you really see yourself playing at now?
Yeah, and that's when you think about, obviously, like football, basketball, or this area of baseball puts out a bunch of kids. I mean, you got kids all over the place, whether it's from Tunkhannock, Valley View, Prep, the couple kids from Dallas. You got right there. There's some
You got some
some
phenomenal
players
athletes
that
at Dallas
have a
right
chance
now.
to play professionally. So, but when you look at the football side of things too. The one thing that was always driven home was recruiters are looking for that size 6 green dress. If you don't fit that size 6 green dress profile, move on. They're moving on, right? But a lot of it, I think, is in our area, we don't realize when you go back, say, football, they're coming to Scranton, they're coming to Northeast PA to find the Connor McGoverns, the Shrives, the interior linemen, right? When was the last tailback? When was the last quarterback?
We don't produce
Matt went,
speed.
but you're not getting the lockdown safety coming out of Northeast PA.
You're not coming
Or
for your
lockdown
skills
corner.
guys
Right.
for PA. For skills, you're going either south or you're going Bama, Florida. Where else was I thinking?
Yeah, your big cities, your Phillies, your
right.
Jersey, New York, Pittsburgh, that kind of stuff. And that's the thing I don't think people grasp is when you have the size, when you do have the measurables, they're the kid that has the measurables thinks he's a skill kid.
Yeah.
No, you need to figure out how to play guard.
Right.
That might get you drafted.
Yeah.
And I don't think guys don't like that.
They don't want to hear that conversation.
Because it's like, well, my name's not going to get called, or I'm not going to get noticed like that.
Right.
But you'll get noticed 10 times more.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, going back to like that's the thing. Every sport, like of the big, there are certain measurables, and I feel like now, baseball is like it's super big measurables because there's all these like PBR, which is they do all these like events where they'll get your exit velocity off the bat, your exit velocity off the arm, like so all these measurables, and then okay, here it is. And it's just
PBR.
like,
The only PBR I know is the mechanical bull. Riding the mechanical bull and never.
that's the only one you know. You don't know about that Pabst Blue Ribbon?
Well, that goes kind of in line with the mechanical bull at the bar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
But anyway,
that wasn't really.
back to your measurables.
Anyway.
No, but it's like a so it's a big database, and they do these all across the country. And I mean that's where you'll look. Okay, class of 2023, here are the best 60 times and the best exit velos, and it's like these measurables. And I feel like it's almost like your green dress thing. If you don't fit at least this, like this is the bare minimum.
Right.
We ain't looking at you.
Yeah.
If you
Before
run,
they even
if you-
pick up and watch a tape of
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Right.
That's
run
my biggest thing.
If you run, you run a 7.160 and you're, an outfielder, we ain't calling you. You need to be at 6'5", 6'4".
Right.
Flip side of that was all I had with the measurables. But even like with basketball, I mean, I had no chance. Division I, I'm 5'7", 150
sub
pounds.
5 though. You're sub 5.
I don't think that matters that much in basketball. If I had a 45-inch vert maybe I'd have a shot to go a small Division I somewhere.
Speaking about it rocking up your ass.
Yeah. Sorry, 38-inch vert, we'll say. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. But it's like it's measurables. But, I mean, it's tough. Like the 5'10" kid who can't move laterally. I'm going Division I. Bud, you ain't.
Another bud.
You just, yeah. Bud, you ain't. So it's tough.
But
then
Tom said it, though. He hit the nail on the head. Film. I feel like film does not lie. Like, women lie, men lie, numbers don't lie. Like, the film doesn't lie. Like, if we can go out there, go on a combine, we can look great and everything, but all of a sudden you put our film on for the coaches. Holy shit! Oh, this is the kid we saw in the combine. He ran the 4.3. He had 200. He had 20 on the 215. Like all that shit.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, it's basketball, football. Like basketball, he can't pass. He can't pass and dribble. He can only shoot. Football, he's getting broken down. He can't cover anybody.
Right. He's not chasing. He's not pursuing.
Right. But all of a sudden, you have the guy that did horrible in the combine, but can read the play, knows where he needs to be, can remember a play. Like that's the biggest thing to me. Like film doesn't lie.
Yeah, but those are the guys, more so in football, I would guess. Like that guy that looks really good on the film but runs a 4.8, 4.7 40, 4.6 40, 4.5, and he's the guy that goes in the 6th round, and the guy, oh my God, he just ran a 4.35. Now we're taking him in the 1st round. Film looks like garbage, but he ran a 4.35. Those are guys that end up going up the draft board, which is why the combine kind of.
The interesting thing I heard more so towards like the combine, like you're talking, is there's not, because of the coaches, how do I want to say, how fast they could be on the hot seat, right? They only have a certain window. They need to come in, get the job, turn around the program, do it the right way. As Jack Kelly sent me a pretty funny video of a ton of basketball and football coach press conferences, introductory press conferences. We're going to win the right way, right? They're going to come in, win the right way, but you only got about 4 or 5 years, so you got to get this done. Right? And most of the time while you're doing that, you're playing with the last guy's players. So you didn't get to recruit your guys, right? So what they do is they try to skirt and cut corners by finding the measurables that they know, okay, this kid's fast. We could get him to come in and, maybe that'll make up for those role player guys that actually develop a program. They're not coaching them up because now you're going into the transfer portal. I don't have time to develop Matt as a freshman to the junior because I'm going to get fired by then. I need to go find the kid that's done it as a transfer, bring him in so that I can win, and never develop that kid. And that's the thing that's lacking, and that's also my gripe with especially the NFL, because you're looking at the measurables rather than, like you're saying, the film. Is he a culture guy? Is he a good character? Is he going to be there, that 6th round kid that's going to be there day in, day out, grind and do things the right way and win for you in the long term? Where that 1st rounder, it's great. You win the press conference, but you can't. You're continuing to draft in the lottery.
So do you think is that why Nick Saban, Bama, kind of Clemson now, they've kind of caught up? They've been able to be so dominant is because they can bring in these high recruits, coach them up, and still say, like, hey, we're going to coach you the right way, but get you a chance to, like, secure your future in the NFL.
Yeah, those guys have gotten themselves, by building that way, recruiting happens for themselves. They have to tell people no.
Right.
But
I mean, you have to get to that point. But
correct. But they've gotten themselves to the point where they're able to draw those kids in and say, it's time for you two to compete. You're the best tight end. You're the best defensive end in the country. You got to compete against each other 5 days a week. And then when you go out on Saturday afternoon or Saturday night, you're mopping that kid up on the other side of the ball.
Iron sharp
because of the competition that's happening day in, day out at Alabama Clemson practice.
And Matt, you were just talking about Clemson. Like, okay, Trevor Lawrence, right, came into Clemson, followed Deshaun Watson. They weren't there at the same time. Started for 3 years. The kid, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but when Lawrence was out, right, when he got COVID.
The Hawaiian.
Like,
if you could say
like-
his name.
Yeah, the Hawaiian.
Like,
Yeah.
DJ ukulele. A ukulele?
Something along
like
those
that.
lines.
You're
But
not
like-
bad. I was
but like-
impressed.
This dude, okay, 5-star recruit, sat behind Trevor Lawrence. Like, he's coming in. He's been practicing with Trevor Lawrence. So, okay, we have Trevor Lawrence. We don't really need to do much with him. We're going to develop this kid. Trevor goes, first overall pick in the NFL. Oh, here we go. We're not going
Right.
to fall off at all because we got DJ coming in, and he's just as good. Maybe not just as good as Trevor Lawrence, but he could be just as good as Trevor Lawrence. 5-star recruit, can throw the ball,
And going
very
back
athletic.
to culture, but like if you have the right culture, you have the right guys. As much as they're competing with one another, they want to also see each other succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll use a prime example, Alex Przlewski. Like we practiced against each other every day. When it came to practice, I hated him.
Right.
'Cause
Yeah,
he-
you went after each other.
He went after me, I went after him, and it wasn't like it was a cakewalk because he can dribble, shoot, and pass. He could defend, and I could do the same, and we would push each other in practice. All of a sudden, it came to game time. That's my brother, though.
Right.
Like whatever happens to him happens to me.
Mhm.
You mess with him, you mess with me. Like we're
Right.
gonna rock with one another, but that's the type of atmosphere that you need to
You
build
do.
a great program.
That's the worst part, too. You're saying that, like, yeah, you need that type. Like, you want your guys going at each other in practice. The worst is when you see them, like, when you know you have a player who's might be better than the player that they're going against, but, he's my friend, she's my friend. Like, I'm going to take it easy. So, no, we don't need
No.
that.
Right.
We need you to get to the rack 10 straight times on this girl.
I'd rather make me or you embarrass them to make them
Yeah.
try harder.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to look bad in front of everybody. That makes them feel worse.
It's either they're gonna ride, they're gonna work, they're gonna get better, and a couple weeks from now they're gonna be able to defend you, or they're gonna completely shut off. Okay, now it's the next turn. Here's your opportunity to defend this, and next person up.
Right.
Like but that's the worst when you start to get kids that are like, oh no, we're friends. Like I don't want to go too hard. I don't want to make her look bad or him look bad. No.
And again, that's just a cultural component to it. If you're not addressing it, you're enabling it.
Mm-hmm.
And you look back, say the Saban thing. What happened? I think it was over the summer or sometime over quarantine. There was a recruit or something that had he was on a Zoom call with Saban, and I guess he recorded the call with his cell phone and then released it through his social media. The basically Saban's pitch to the kid to come play at Alabama, and immediately Saban wasn't happy, but who came immediately to the defense was Alabama alums, Alabama players. We don't do that, but go find somewhere else to play, because if you're going to do that to coach, you're not coming in this locker room. And I think that, to me, speaks volumes over anything else that could come out of the Alabama program or
For
what
how
you're
much-
hearing. If that's that tight knit,
right.
they got something going on there. But also too, Saban and those guys have that conversation. Like, you have the ability, however, you're not entitled to this.
Right.
There's a process. You've got to get through this. But if you do, you have an opportunity to make a heck of a lot of money for your family.
I mean, he's just been dumping guys into the NFL right now. If I had the chance to go play at Alabama, I don't know if I could ever say no.
Yeah. How do you
you're
say
going to
no?
go into their NFL ready because you're running a pro style offense, pro style defense. You're going to be getting developed in your position, whatever it may be. Cornerback and defensive lineman right now for them, running back too.
Offensive lineman, they send a lot.
Wide
Saban's
receiver.
a defensive back coach.
Right.
Like, that's his niche. That's where he
Well,
started coming through, and then he went from as that position coach.
At Michigan
He's
State,
a defensive
right?
coordinator, right?
Yeah, Michigan
he was
State.
there.
Where'd you go to school?
Indiana, bud.
Oh yeah,
Indiana.
it's crazy how you're wearing a Michigan State shirt right
Again,
now.
it's relationships. Got to support your kids, bud.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
I didn't go to North Carolina, but big fan.
big fan. Your Indiana fellows would be so disgusted with you right now.
no, they wouldn't.
Fife would be happy. Well, not now, but
Not now. He's supporting Dane Fife right
See,
now. That's
no,
it.
but all right, you went there. I didn't bring up Indiana today. Okay, so since you did, I'm gonna blast through the door, and we're gonna go there. All right. But in all seriousness, you're busting my chops. I'm wearing a Michigan State shirt, right? Dane went and coached there for 10 years. You think anybody in Indiana disliked him because of that?
That's a good point. I don't think so.
Well, trying to make that money. Yeah, he coached there so he could come back, right? Learned from Izzo. Now he's back.
Right. I'm not putting this on and rooting for Michigan State to beat Indiana.
I think you might.
No, absolutely not.
Although I can't say anything.
He'd rather get punched in the throat.
I can't
before-
say
Right.
anything because when Brett Favre went to the Minnesota Vikings, I 100% bought a Brett Favre Viking. I have 2 of them.
Well, then just shut up.
But Brett Favre, I was a Brett Favre guy.
But now you're like a Packers guy.
No, I was always a Packers guy, but like Brett Favre was the reason I was a Packers fan.
Right.
Listen, I was a big Brian Dawkins fan when he played for the Eagles. Like, Weapon X, he was awesome. But it wasn't like when he went to Denver, I was like, I need a Dawkins jersey, man. I need that jersey. No, he's not an Eagle anymore. Thank you for what you did for the Eagles, but
That's different.
I hope you do well with Denver. It's not different.
That's
It's the
different.
same
So
thing.
when you were young, so this was like Brett Favre. As long as I was a football fan, like
so you're
4
saying,
years
like,
old,
who's my guy? Like
4 years old, little,
Allen
4-year-old.
Allen Iverson.
He went to a million different. But if he went to Philly and then went to like,
Denver. He went straight to Denver after
Yeah.
Philly. It wasn't like I went and bought a Nuggets jersey. That's my dude, too.
but if you got, say you got a Allen
Night.
Iverson Nuggets jersey for Christmas, you might wear it a couple times.
Why would I wear it? He's not with the Sixers.
I don't know, man.
That's just me. Maybe I'm messed up like that. But, like, if you're not with my team, you're not with me anymore.
I don't know. Brett Favre, I was all about him. I'm like, I wanted him to come back and like torch the Packers, but he got a raw deal. I feel like you'd probably be.
Hooper's having a 30th birthday moment right now. Here
Yeah.
we go. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
he got a raw deal.
Take your moment, man.
I'm just saying he did.
Tell us about
but
the deal. Tell us
Allen-
about this deal since you brought it up.
I mean, they were in the NFC Championship
You
game.
struck a chord.
They were in the NFC Championship game, and then they're like, nah, we're going with Rodgers. That was when I thought Rodgers stunk. I'm glad they did go with Rodgers because he turns out to be one of the best ever sling a football. But with, like Allen Iverson, it was probably better for him to get out of Philly. Was Philly even good when they traded him?
They weren't bad. It wasn't like he went to Denver and did greater things.
But that was when Denver still had Melo, right?
They had Melo, JR, Birdman. I think they even had Marcus Camby at that time.
Philly was trying to get Iguodala. They were trying to just turn the reins over to Iguodala.
And we saw how that went.
Dude, he played in the league for however many years, won a couple championships.
Oh yeah, he did a great job. But
Just not
we
with
never,
Philly.
Yeah, we never won with them.
Yeah.
So just kept AI.
Now you got the team.
We'll see.
Big Doc.
Change of culture.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a perfect example of change of culture. It's basically the same team that Brett Brown had, but now Doc comes in and you see them
Instant
do
respect.
respect. But like he's the type of guy I feel like he demands respect without saying it. He played in the league. He's coached in the league for so long. He's won NBA championship. He's coached at a high level for a long time. It's kind of hard not to get that respect.
Yeah. So we winding this one down. We don't want too much dead air. I think
Right.
this was pretty good. I think this was a good one.
Yeah, this was a good one.
I
It
think
certainly was.
One of the better ones. It flowed very well.
Yeah,
Hopefully-
it flew. That's why I'm always thinking Runko's report card.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping.
So like, I never want to interrupt and go backwards. You know what I mean?
Progress.
I never
progress.
wanted to
I
go.
only did it 3 times, but it's okay. Yo,
Yeah,
let's talk about this. No, I'm joking.
No,
Go
I did
ahead.
it
You a
once,
great
and I
job. Happy
prefaced it
birthday.
because I was.
Happy birthday,
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
you old man. Sub-5 though.
Yeah, sub 5. It's the goal. Run a sub 5 at 40. 10 years from now, keep it.
Keep squatting.
Years from now,
That's
Get
it.
the ladder out.
you're gonna be in a wheelchair.
It's not.
Get the ladder out. Start working on the agility.
Yeah, ladder out. It's not so much the squat. It's the hamstrings. You want that posterior chain. Which I know, Tom. Squat works. I got you. You don't have to say it. All right, we're rambling. This was it. Episode 9. We don't have intro or we don't have outro music.
no
Not
outro
yet.
But before we go, we have to give a big shout out to
G&M Snack Bar.
That's right.
Not only
Southside Bowl.
Southside Bowl. You don't have the number up?
I do not have the number up.
Oh, God.
sorry, we
Gosh.
said the number multiple times. But
Yeah.
just have a
Yeah.
quick shout
Go.
out.
We don't know if it. Again, go.
Go down, say Chupin Up sent you.
We're not sure if anyone has yet. We're really need you to. Appreciate them. We appreciate them doing their thing. We'll see you in the next one. It's been a pleasure, as always. Tom,
Cooper, great
Matthew.
job with the intro.
It's a pleasure. Cool way to go.
Thanks, guys.